Welcome to Venerated, Enlightened, Seishi, Onisaburō, Deguchi, Vegetarian, Messenger of the Divine Word, Part 3 of 3. Seishi, Onisaburō, Deguchi, Vegetarian, was a venerated enlightened master, seer, artist, and visionary. With the Reverend Kaiso Nao Deguchi, he was the co-founder of a spiritual movement called Omoto, meaning great source or great origin. Deguchi Onisaburō was respectfully called Seishi, meaning spiritual master. During Kaiso Nao's lifetime, Omoto remained a small rural movement centered in Ayabe, with limited influence beyond local farmers and townspeople. After Seishi Onisaburō Deguchi joined in 1898, Omoto's reach expanded rapidly across Japan. Seishi Onisaburō Deguchi mastered a wide range of fields such as astronomy, religion, medicine, and more. With childlike joy, he designed and wore elaborate costumes in which he embodied deities from Buddhism and Shinto, occasionally appearing as a goddess. A lover of art, he wrote, produced, and often starred in his own theatrical plays and films. Calling himself a world remodeler, he was dedicated to advocating pacifism, universal brotherhood, and the oneness of all good faiths to create an ideal world of peace, love, and justice. Seishi Onisaburō's teachings blended universal ideas with strong national sentiment. He proclaimed that all religions share a single divine source, while also asserting that Japan has a special spiritual mission to bring peace to the world. This blend attracted both progressive thinkers and patriotic devotees. At Ayabe, new adherents lived simply and practiced strict spiritual discipline. They prayed late into the night, studied sacred writings, and prepared to spread the faith. The movement's growth was remarkable. Within 5 years, Omoto had expanded from fewer than 1,000 believers in Ayabe to over 300,000 adherents nationwide. People from all walks of life were drawn to the faith. Ordinary citizens, educators, government officials, naval officers wary of rising militarism, soldiers, and members of the imperial family. Such rapid expansion and broad appeal soon drew the attention and concern of the country's right-wing and militarist circles. As Omoto's influence grew, the wary government prepared to suppress it. On February 12, 1921, about 200 police officers raided the Ayabe headquarters, marking the start of the first Omoto incident. For nearly 3 months, the government enforced a complete press blackout. When the ban was lifted on May 11th, newspapers nationwide, at the apparent instigation of the authorities, immediately unleashed a coordinated wave of sensational attacks against the movement. This was a deliberate strategy designed to isolate Omoto, sow division among its followers, and weaken the organization from within. During the suppression, Seishi Onisaburō, along with senior Omoto leader and English literature scholar Wasaburo Asano and Yusada Yoshida, editor and publisher of the Omoto periodical Shinreikai, The World of Spirit, were arrested and charged with lèse-majesté, offense against the emperor, and violations of the newspaper law. On October 5, 1921, Seishi Onisaburō was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment. Shortly after, the government ordered the demolition of Omoto's main sanctuary, the Hongu-san Shrine. Dismantling was set to begin on October 20th. On October 8th, Seishi received a divine message.
明治31年旧2月に神より開示しておいた霊界の消息を発表せよ。
On October 18th, 2 days before the destruction, a solemn farewell ceremony was held at the shrine. From that day onward, even as the sounds of the demolition echoed around him, Seishi Onisaburō began orally dictating what would become his monumental work, Reikai Monogatari, Tales of the Spirit World. In a poignant convergence of destruction and creation, the physical sanctuary was torn down, while the eternal scripture of the coming age was born. Following the first Omoto incident, many believers, including some senior leaders, left the movement. Seishi Onisaburō was held in custody for approximately 126 days. After his release on bail on June 17th, he focused on global spirituality and the promotion of peace. From the late 1920s through the 1930s, Omoto sent missionaries and cultural envoys to Korea, Manchuria, China, Mongolia, and Southeast Asia, embracing Esperanto, a universal language created to promote international understanding. Seishi Onisaburō declared it the movement's second sacred language. He personally oversaw the translation of scriptures and hymns and urged followers to learn it. In 1924, Seishi Onisaburō Deguchi led a bold mission to Mongolia, seeking to establish a utopian spiritual community and promote peace. Accompanied by the martial artist Murihei Ueshiba, who later founded Aikido, the group was captured by forces loyal to the Manchurian military leader Zhang Zuolin. They narrowly escaped execution and were eventually released through diplomatic negotiations. Due to its teachings on divinity, pacifism, and internationalism, Omoto drew the ire of the government, increasingly committed to militarism and ultranationalism. In an event unprecedented in modern Japanese history, during the second Omoto incident from 1935 to 1945, authorities not only confiscated Omoto's sacred precincts and destroyed its facilities, but also arrested more than 3,000 followers, 16 of whom perished from severe mistreatment. Seishi Onisaburō Deguchi and his wife Sumi were imprisoned for approximately 6 years and 8 months while awaiting trial. Throughout his life, Seishi made a large number of startling prophecies, many of which came true in his lifetime. The start of the Asian-Pacific War, the United States atomic bombings of 2 major Japanese cities, and the Soviet Union's capture of the Kuril Islands, to name a few. On August 7, 1942, Seishi Onisaburō Deguchi, then 71, was released on bail alongside his wife Sumi and their son-in-law, later adopted son Ochimaru Deguchi. Upon their return to Komeoka, Seishi Onisaburō predicted that Japan's defeat was near. True to his foretelling, the tide of the global conflict turned. Under General Douglas MacArthur's direction, the Allied Occupation Authorities, GHQ, swiftly repealed the laws that had repressed freedom of thought and religion. Consequently, on October 17, 1945, the lèse majesté charges against Omoto were officially pardoned, bringing the long ordeal of the Omoto incidents to a close. The persecution was a grave injustice, marked by torture, deaths in custody, severe injuries, and the unlawful seizure and destruction of sacred lands and facilities. In the aftermath, Omoto's defense lawyers prepared to seek state compensation. They estimated the damages at approximately 300 million yen, equivalent to around 60 billion yen in present-day value. However, Seishi firmly rejected any claim, declaring,
事件のおかげで大本は戦争に関与できない境遇に置かれ、人類の平和に対する発言権を与えられた。これは全く神の恩寵である。今度の事件は神様の摂理で、わしはありがたいと思っている。賠償を求めて敗戦後生活に苦しんでいる国民の高血を絞り取るようなことをしてはならない。
Seishi instructed his legal team to urgently reclaim the sacred sites in Ayabe and Kameoka, saying,
聖地が取られていることは、それだけ長く日本が取られることの型になる。
From late 1944, Onisaburō Deguchi crafted Lacuse-style tea bowls, producing dozens daily and completing over 3,000 by March 1946. he generously gave these works to visiting followers. He described these brightly colored bowls, later called Yo-wan, heavenly brilliant tea bowls, as treasures.
わしの作るのは玉じゃ。茶碗は宝玉じゃ。
In a time of hardship and uncertainty, his vibrant creations brought joy and embodied a vision of heaven. Even as turmoil surrounded him, he quietly prepared for the renewal of the movement and the awakening of the spiritual world. In early summer 1946, beloved Seishi Onisaburō's health began to decline. He remained mostly bedridden until his passing on January 19, 1948, in Komeoka at the age of 76. Beyond the monumental tales of the spirit world and the radiant Yo-wan tea bowls, Seishi Onisaburō Deguchi left thousands of essays, poems, plays, and lectures on subjects ranging from pacifism and art to the unification of world religions. Throughout his life, he endured trials that words can hardly convey. Yet through every ordeal, he gifted humanity an enduring spiritual legacy and emerged as one of early 20th century Japan's most visionary spiritual figures. His prophecies often centered on a coming golden age of global harmony that would follow a period of turmoil and purification. He foresaw worldwide conflict, natural disasters, and moral decline, but always emphasized humanity's ultimate awakening to divine truth and lasting peace. May humanity cherish the teachings of the Enlightened Masters and attain everlasting liberation in the boundless light of the Almighty. For more information on Venerated Enlightened Seishi Onisaburō Deguchi Vegetarian, please visit omt.gr.jp.
Vegan side effect: feeling the power to move mountains. With all gratitude and sincerity, we thank, praise, and love the utmost Trinity, the most powerful reunited ones for world vegan, world peace, and our soul liberation.